Hello, good people. Let's see. On yesterday, I started a series about how I go about investing in the stock market, right? And I thought that was pretty good. I was going to work with that. I was going to start the series. However, uh, throughout the night and on today, I was reminded of several conversations I had over this past week. I've been on my job for over 18 years and I have a lot of friends there, right? I have some friends who've gone on and retired with 53 years, 47 years, 40 years, 30 years, and what have you. So over this past week, I had to take care of some things at some of our other sites, blah, blah. And I ended up having to have a few conversations with some of my friends with 30 plus years, right? And these guys and gals between the ages of 59 to mid 60s. And most of the conversations went something like this: how life has been happening and they had to draw money out of their 401k over the past few years. And they're feeling antsy toward as to how long they're going to have to stay to make up the, they're concerned about their 401k, right? And I just, that was on my mind all week because I was talking to folks, trying to encourage them, it's not too late. Even if you only have 2 years left, if you have 1 year left, what other options do you have, So today I'm starting a series about 401k. So here we go. Let's get to it. I'm Chris. Thanks for tuning in, right? If you're in your late 50s or early 60s, right, and you're feeling uneasy about your 401k, um, let me say this clearly. You are not out of time, my friend. You are not out of time. Fear often shows up not because we fail, but because we were never fully taught how all the pieces work together. And hey, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do, with your 401k or your personal portfolios. All I can do is share my experience and share my knowledge, and hopefully it helps somebody, right? So, so again, let me get back to where I was. So, your 401k was never meant to be your only support. Ta-da! I just had to say that. Some people we think the 401k is our all in all. Well, most people also have Social Security, right? So that will offset your 401k, right? That's one thing to put some fears at bay, right? Some of us have pensions. Yours truly don't, but some folks have pensions, right? That is another plug to fill in the gaps from what your 401k was able to provide, right? So, and all of us still have choices, especially if we're willing to walk wisely from this moment forward. So keep in mind, if you have something coming from the VA benefits, right? Then VA disabilities, then that's a plus, right? If you retire from someplace else, that's a plus, right? So there's plenty of options you have. Your 401k is not your only lifeline when you stop working, right? When you kiss the workforce goodbye, there are still options out there, right? And then if you have skill sets where you could do some consulting, right? If you have skill sets where you could do this and you could do that, doesn't require much effort. It just requires some of your knowledge, and you could continue to make some funds to add to your retirement income, right? Okay, so key truth here. Your retirement is not the your retirement is not the moment you go and pull all of your money out, right? So, we look at our 401k top number and we think, okay, I'm finna retire and I don't have enough money. It's not like you're finna reduce that whole number to zero as soon as you retire, right? You might decide you don't need to start tapping into your 401k to 3, 4, 5 months down the line, because by the time you retire, Hopefully you paid off all your debt, right? Hopefully you have some money in your bank account, in your savings account, in your checking account. And you may decide, based on my living expenses, I'm fine off of this for a little while. Okay. Or you may decide, okay, I'm putting in for my Social Security. So my Social Security is paying me this amount, right? This is what I need to live off of, right? My Social Security is paying me this, right? My pension is paying me this, right? So I only need this amount of money off my 401k a month to have a comfortable income coming in every month, right? Then you look at what's left in your 401k minus the first 12 to 24 months that you're going to be pulling out, right? So you can move that funds over to a high yield saving account, right? And then you just draw for that money, right? And the rest, you you have to get busy being wise about how you invest the rest so it continues to grow and turn over, right? Just giving you some ideas, right? Don't want you to panic and think it's all over, right? So anyway, you don't drain your 401k in one shot. What you don't withdraw continues to grow and mature in the market, continues to grow and turn over. Retirement is about managing flow, not panicking over totals. For those with 1 to 2 years left, even if you only have 2 years left before retirement, that time still matters. That time still counts. You could do what? You can make thoughtful adjustments, right? Wise adjustments along the way, right? You can reduce unnecessary risk, right? Eliminating debt and what have you. Shift from accumulation to stewardship, if that's where you are, right? And you can replace fear with understanding. Wisdom applied late is still wisdom. Now, for case in point, excuse me, I looked at my 401k some years ago. I say, man, this is not going to be where they say it's going to need to be when I retire. And I'm hoping to retire at 59 and a half. At least that was my thoughts back then. So I was like, wow, I'm a long ways from that. They saying I need $1 million and this is all I have. Wow. So I started doing research when COVID kicked off. I had time on my hand. I started doing research. I was already doing side hustles and using that money for vacations and getaways. And I started looking, well, maybe it'll help if I pay my house off by the time I turn 59 and a half. And maybe it'll help if I do this and do that and do that. And I just started researching, right? Then I started me a personal portfolio, right? I started with Robinhood, right? Ended up with Robinhood portfolio, Charles Schwab portfolio, crypto portfolio, Webull, and Moomoo. Now, all of those are not like super big for me, right? Webull and Moomoo, I just got in because some of my mentors were talking about it, and they had a great incentive, right? So I put in 100, and they gave me X amount of stock. Put in another 100, they gave me X amount of stock, and I've just been making wise decisions off of that initial $200 investment. And here, 3-4 years later, is more than that, right? Same thing with Moomoo. So occasionally, I will drop a little money in there from my profits from my main portfolio that I work, pretty aggressively, right? So my thing is, if you're really fearful of your 401k and if you're willing to baby your 401k, so what does that mean, baby your 401k? Babies can't do much on their own, right? They need constant tending to a watchful eye, need to be fed, need to be bathed, and so on and so on and so on, etc., etc., etc. So if you want to baby your portfolio 401k, spend some time with it. The first thing you're thinking, I need to call my financial advisor. And I'm not gonna say don't call your financial advisor. What I'm going to say is, if you've been with your company 20 or more years, and your 401k is greatly lacking, then I would say maybe you can't fully trust your current financial advisor to lead you in a way to really collapse time and cause your portfolio to leapfrog over the next couple of years. But I do want you to know that there is hope if you're willing to go and do research and get busy making wise decisions with your 401k. Let me move on. Faith and wisdom, right? I believe God honors stewardship. When we pray, seek guidance, act with wisdom, He moves on our behalf. He moves on you and I's behalf, right? We don't walk by sight alone. We walk by faith, clarity, and patience. That's a 1, 2, 3 knockout plan. Anyway, in closing, from where you stand right now, what do you really have to lose by choosing wisdom instead of fear? Fear helps nothing, right? So don't be afraid. Just get busy learning and growing your financial wealth, growing your 401k, and growing your financial knowledge. It is never too late. If you're wondering whether or not it's too late, if you still have life in your body, it's not too late. Learn, ask questions, verify what you hear. Peace comes when understanding replaces worry. Walk in wisdom, my friend.